Hi, I'm Tim Weaver, and I'm here with Andy Kelly, and he's going to tell us about Sleeping Dogs today. Andy,
yes.
What did you make of it? Is it the next GTA, or is it the next Saints Row?
Yeah, well, it's kind of like, and remarkably for an open world game, it's kind of its own game. Like it does use a lot of the tropes of the open world game that's been established by Saints Row, Grand Theft Auto and so on, but it brings its own colour and flavour to it, and it really does feel like a unique game.
I mean, I wasn't being disparaging about Saints Row. I meant is it like a serious sort of take on the open world genre, or is it more of like a zany, crazy town?
It's a good mix, actually. The story is actually really well done, and it's this mixture of you being a cop and being undercover, working for the triads in Hong Kong. And so the story is actually, for my money, it's better than GTA 4's story, because it just has fun with it. It feels like a sort of kung fu movie, slightly over the top. And in that respect, but there are serious moments as well, and there's a lot of violence in it and stuff. So, but it's a kind of a mixture. There's also moments that are completely absurd, where you're like getting involved in crazy capers with your triad buddies, like hanging off vans as they speed down the streets and stuff. And and like the combat as well is kind of like quite silly, where you're ramming a guy's face in a furnace and the blades of an air conditioning unit. Like it's got a kind of absurdity to it, but then there's also a bit of serious. But it just feels, it doesn't feel like it's trying to be either of them. It really has carved its own little niche into the open world genre.
So the combat looks fairly Batman-esque. Would that be fair? Or?
Yeah, I'd say the combat was a mixture of the Yakuza games and Batman games. So the Yakuza games, in terms that there's a context-sensitive environment kills, where you see that furnace flashing, you can stick a man's head in it.
Yeah.
And you can pick up objects, and so that's really fun, but quite simplistic. Oh, and some swordfish as well.
Oh man!
But what a
way to go!
Yeah, what makes it Batman-y is the countering system, where as you're fighting groups of enemies, one of them will flash red, and then you hit the counter button, which is triangle on PlayStation and Y on Xbox. So the same as Batman. It doesn't have that sort of precision and fluid sort of feel of the natural animations of Batman, where it just makes you feel so powerful. It's a little bit less polished than that, and the counter button won't always respond, even though you've absolutely pressed it in time. So there's it doesn't have those mega budget production values that GTA or Batman does, but it does really, for the developers who have never made a game like this before, United Front. Their previous game was Mod Nation Racers. So for a team who's never made a game like this, they've made one of the best open world games.
I mean, that's the big achievement here, I think, isn't it? That they really, are fairly inexperienced. I know they've got a lot of sort of talent from various development
like
studios.
Need for Speed and
but even so, to kind of bring all that together and to produce something that's really this good really is quite an achievement. So tell us briefly about the world. How does it feel? What's Hong Kong like?
Yeah. Well, the city's really nicely put together, and it's made up of different districts, kind of the financial district and sort of mountainous regions where you get a nice big view of the city, and it feels nice. It's let down technically. Stuff in the distance sort of turns into like a blur. So the level of detail in the distance really lets down the feeling of the city. Like when you're going really fast, you can barely even see the road ahead of you sometimes. But we've not tried the PC version, but hopefully that clears it up. But on consoles, it does suffer a little. Otherwise, it's just a very well realised city, and looks stunning at night time and in the rain as well. Like a very absorbing setting.
And the story's really good as well.
Yeah, when you're an undercover cop basically, so. Different types. There's two types of missions where you'll be doing criminal type stuff, which is more GTA, but you'll also be doing missions working undercover, bugging people and taking photos of drug deals. So there's the story is split and the gameplay is split really nicely between being the good guy and the bad guy.